program, and I'm ready to go. Tony Dottino, founder, chairman of the USA Memory Championship. October 23rd, we just finished our 22nd event. Anyone that wants to go back and look at some of the elements of it can go to the YouTube channel for the USA Memory Championship. Brought to you by Full Sail University, and there are some fantastic pieces in there. We're getting some great feedback. We had MIT speaking at it, as well as Columbia University and the chief scientist out of Lumosity. So some really fantastic speakers, and I just really enjoyed the opening where we asked each of the mental athletes a little bit of their background and why they wanted to compete in the Memory Championship. And you can learn more about it looking at the USA Memory Championship website. But for today, I was reading, doing a little bit of reading as I was coming out of the pool today. Yes, it's November 3rd, and I'm still swimming here in Orlando, Florida, in our community swimming pool. Came out of the pool, and I was reading the a special report from the Mayo Clinic. So here's this special report from the Mayo Clinic, and it's a supplement to their health letter from November 2021. And it talked about living longer. You're making a bit of noise there, please. So you're living longer and younger. So how do you live longer and younger? And it talks about 6 steps to better health. And wouldn't you know, as I'm going through that, I'm thinking of our Maximum Memory Mastery online course where we talk about 6 elements of brain health. And that, in terms, seems to be almost like, God, somebody from the Mayo Clinic was either listening to that course and said, gee, we can use these things for heart health as well, or in reverse, they've been doing this work on heart health, and the tips for heart health seem to mirror the things we talk about for the elements of brain health, which then brings us to an obvious conclusion. If one has the elements to want to improve your heart health, because we know about heart attacks and how people die from heart attacks and what a killer it is, and we go to cardiologists and we do scans and we do all kinds of analysis of what our heart is or isn't doing, and blockages and pacemakers and stents, because we know without a good heart, not sure how long we're going to live. Well, what are some of the habits that will boost your immune system to fend off some of the risks that you may have from damaged heart or heart disease, as it may be, and how might you be proactive? Well, as I'm going through that and reading this article, it's like, whoa, this sounds like the same things one would want to do for your brain health. And this brought me to, God, you can get a twofer, meaning you can do one thing and get 2 benefits from it, if you got to the same element of wanting to improve your own mental fitness. Because as I talk with more and more people that are working on exercising and building their physical stamina, a lot of people worry about, well, what's going to happen to my brain? And how will I ensure that my brain is fit? So let me share with you, if you haven't heard these before, you need to re-listen to some of my Facebook Live with Tony's. But one of the things that they start talking about is your diet. Now, as it relates to heart health, I don't know that anybody needs to beat a drum on your diet, your nutritional habits, and what are they, and what are you ingesting into your body. And we know all about fats and excessive fats in our diet and what it does to cholesterol and our LDLs and HDLs and little particles and big particles and blockages. Well, those same elements have an impact in terms of nutrition on your brain. When you step back and think about it, your brain is using a significant amount of the nutrition you bring into your body, or you bring in through your mouth, and then you digest it through your digestive system. Well, a lot of that's going back up into your brain. So a number of studies have been made on the importance of nutrition, not only to heart health, but to your mental fitness and your mental health. And how many of us ever stop to think about nutritional habits impact not only our heart and our well-being in terms of our arteries and our breathing mechanisms, but obviously that then processes up into our brain and it selects the things that it wants to keep the nerves firing, or the dendrites and the axons firing in our brain. So we're a chemical oxidizing process here that takes what we eat and has an impact. So when we talk about healthy eating, you've heard this before, fruits and vegetables provides antioxidants and anti-inflammatory nutrients that aid the immune system and help fight infections. And they should add onto that another sentence, and it also has an impact on your mental fitness. Number one. What's the next thing we talk about over and over again in terms of our elements that comes out of our maximum memory mastery and memory tips and things? Exercising. What we know is by physical exercise, we breathe oxygen into our body, and also in our muscles, in our muscle toning, we bring in connections to neurons in our brain. And so oxygen and connectivity also connects to heart health. Regular, moderate exercise increases the activity of virus-killing immune cells. The key word there is moderate exercise increases the activity of virus-killing immune cells. What we know is exercise brings pure oxygen into our brain. Our brain is using about 20 to 30% of the oxygen we breathe. And so what we know in cardio health is it's important to have some maintenance of aerobic, but we also are discovering in the brain fitness world anaerobic. What kind of exercising are we doing? Are we lifting water bottles to keep our mental, our physical muscles in as well? Learning more and more in the cancer treatment world that they're suggesting when people are going for cancer treatments, exercise before, because the chemo impacts your muscle growth. So therefore, get yourself into muscle building. So muscle building for cancer, muscle building for heart health, muscle building for mental fitness, as well as a bit of walking and a slight jogging and running. You've heard these before. All right. Number three, we want to live longer. Manage your stress and make connections. Managing your stress and making connections. Calming activities as well as supportive relationships. Have you heard me talking about social interaction? Have you heard me talking about reducing your stress levels, or different tips and suggestions on how do you manage your stress? Well, here we go. You want to live longer? From a heart point of view, calming activities as well as supportive relationships minimize stress. Key there is supportive relationships. I'm sorry to say, sometimes in our lives we have relationships that may not be the most supportive, which means we got to go find those that are around us that will support us and help us and not cause us to get stressed and go crazy. But here's what happens. Calming activities as well as supportive relationships minimize stress but reduce cortisol production. Cortisol is that element within the body that too much of it starts to destroy your immune system. So you want to reduce cortisol production and enhance the whole immune system's functioning. So we've talked about stress and social interaction. Does this not sound like the elements of brain health that we talk about in the Maximum Memory Mastery? And we will have a new online course because of these kinds of things. We'll have a new online course that's coming out that is going to talk about those 6 elements in deeper details. Next, you can almost guess what's coming. Are you getting enough of sleep? Are you getting enough of sleep? Adequate sleep helps boost the number of immune cells that circulate in the body and improves any infection outcomes. You've heard me talk about sleep and what are some of the tips in some of my Live with Tonys. I've talked about what are some of the things you can do to improve your sleep. And how do you deal with the restless nights and your mind is going on 20 different things and you're up tossing and turning? And I say, get out of bed, write those notes down, get a piece of paper and keep a notepad next to your bed and jot down everything you can about what's keeping you awake. So now you've got 5 of the things we talk about. Healthy eating, nutrition, exercising, aerobic, anaerobic, managing stress, building social interactions, and getting enough sleep. Can any of you who've been listening to me know what the 6th one is, which is not covered in here? So this is an interesting one because they do focus on everything you want to do in their special report, right? Here's the special report from the Mayo Clinic. Special report in the Mayo Clinic, how you're going to live longer, live younger, longer. Number 6, mental challenges. What are you doing to challenge your mental functioning, to like exercise your brain? And that's the whole element of the maximum memory mastery, the 6 elements of brain health. And the 3rd course that's coming down the road is becoming a super learner. So I am just so excited about the fact that we're thought leaders in the world of how do we get people to live longer lives that also have physical being and connection to mental fitness and cognitive abilities. Because without beating that horse too much, Alzheimer's, dementia, cognitive impairment are all creeping into our world. And if any of you have ever had a relative that has gone through that process, they're not pretty sights. So people, get proactive, get with it. We know what we need to do. We have this, and it just keeps coming out over and over again, whether now for your heart health and how to live longer from heart positioning, or we know what you've got to do in terms of mental fitness, and I just say get with the program. Start looking at your nutrition. Start looking at minor exercise. Don't go making giant leaps into your life and changing, thinking you got to do a 180. Just put little steps one at a time, and those will grow into bigger steps for you over time. There is no urgency to this. Get it done, but get it done in a smart way. Get it done in pieces that you're successful at, and just accumulate a trail of successes. That is my broadcast for tonight. I guess I shouldn't go to the pool anymore because I get to read this stuff and then come back and try to share it with you. But in any case, we've got some 70-degree weather coming in the next few days. Not sure if I'll be at the pool again this week. But in any case, I hope all is well. A lot of good things happening on our side of the world, and I hope a lot of good things are happening on your side of the world. And until Friday, have a good rest of your week. We'll see you then.